Hi everybody, it's Samantha with Kyron Horman's Case Revisited. I am here at Skyline School today. We're going to discuss the groundskeeper, David Stensen. This is a picture of David Stensen. Now, David Stensen was a groundskeeper at Skyline. He came here every Friday. Law enforcement put out a flyer about Access Road and Terri Horman's truck being parked out here. And we all know all about Access Road. It's been a huge conversation. But this is Access Road. And David Stensen came forward and said that on June 4th, he pulled onto Access Road and parked his truck, got up here to the chain, unlocked it, and drove his truck, his trailer, and his soccer equipment up here onto the soccer field. Now, a lot of people think he just parked his truck on Access Road and that's where it stayed. That's not the case. David Stensen does indeed park his truck up on to the soccer field. And people started talking about David Stensen immediately in the forums, in the media, everywhere, because everybody wants to know why it took him so long to come forward. I mean, the media doesn't even do their interview with him until August 13th. So, I mean, it's been quite a while. Kyron's already been gone for 2 months. Law enforcement's already asked anybody that has worked up here at the school or was up here at the school visiting to come forward. Now, David Stensen worked for Park and Recreations in the city of Portland. He didn't work for the school itself. There are a few things that make David Stensen suspicious. One of them is the fact that he inserts himself into this case. Law enforcement doesn't even know about him. He comes forward 2 months later. That's suspicious. People that commit crimes like to insert themselves into the investigations. One of the other things is he changes the time that he was up here at the school. And let's talk about the times. So, early June 4th, he says he gets here at 7:45 in the morning and he leaves at 8:30. Now, if that's true, he wouldn't have seen Terri Horman's truck out front when he got here and pulled his truck up onto the field, because Terri Horman and Kyron didn't get up here at the school until 8 o'clock in the morning. So he's not going to see her truck. And he's not going to have anything to do with Kyron's disappearance if Terry's telling the truth. And she didn't leave here till 8:45 in the morning, because they're still up at the school wandering around looking at the science fair projects. But then David Stensen changes his time. He says when he talks to law enforcement that he left between 8:45 closer to 9 a.m. Now, if that's true, he's not going to see Terri Horman's truck out front either, because if Terri is telling the truth, she left at 8:45 and he is somewhere closer to 9 o'clock, her truck's already going to be gone from out front. So, why did he change his time? 2 months is a long time to remember what you did that day, I feel. The third thing that he does that's really suspicious is he changes his story. He's talking to the news reporter and telling the reporter that while he was mowing the lawn, he saw kids come out the back of the school, and he thought to himself, God, I hope they don't come onto the soccer field to play. I don't know if that's something that the kids would normally do, come down to the soccer field and play. But one, that says, if what he's saying is true, kids were running outside of the school without their chaperones. That's kind of a huge thing. I mean, could Kyron have been wandering around the outside of the school without anybody even knowing? But this is the back of the school, and there are no planter boxes up there. David Stensen says that he saw children come out the back and they started looking at the plants that were in the raised garden beds. There is no garden beds up there now, and there wasn't in 2010. So he goes and starts talking to law enforcement. Law enforcement's asking him questions, and he tells them he didn't see anything that day. He was just concentrating on mowing the lawn. Now let's talk about mowing the lawn. A lot of people in the forums and a lot of people in these discussion groups really go crazy about him out here mowing the lawn that Friday, because for 2 full weeks, Portland, Oregon was getting doused with rain. I mean, by the end of June, we had already seen almost 4 inches of rain. It was something everybody was talking about. It just would not stop pissing rain. So if he was out here mowing the lawn, he says he was having a hard time mowing the lawn because it was so wet. Other people wonder if he was even up here mowing the lawn. Could you even mow the lawn if there's puddles of water all over the soccer field? I mean, I don't know. I've never had equipment like that, so I'm not sure how the equipment would run while you're mowing the lawn. But there were people talking about how the water was coming down this hillside and like coming down into the soccer field and just making it really, really wet. And it was the second highest reported like rainfall in history in the month of June. The thing is, David Stensen had opportunity. He did. He was up here at the school the day Kyron came up missing. He's on the soccer field. Kyron Horman played soccer. Had they met before? I mean, I knew all of the employees and stuff at my schools when I was growing up. The janitors, everything else. Everybody kind of knows everybody. Did Kyron know him? I mean, did David Stensen ever maybe come to the soccer games because he mowed this lawn? You know? So, there's that. And then we have this hillside and Kyron's classroom right there up in the corner. Now, if Terri Horman left at 8:45 in the morning and Kyron was walking towards his classroom, he was also walking towards the stairwell because his classroom is right up here in the corner, room 213. Now, did Kyron come down and start wandering around, saw David, said, "Hey, hello," or did David Stensen enter the school? Did he come here with an agenda that day to take a child and just said he came up here to mow the lawn like he does every Friday? Or did he come up here to take a child and not ever mow? That's what's in question. Because if he took Kyron, he could have taken Kyron right out this west side of the school. We've talked about the west side of the school over and over and over again. Leads down these stairs to this sidewalk. Now, this sidewalk travels all the way to Access Road. Now, when you're standing down here, you can't see the playground. You can't see the front of the school. You can't see the parking lot. David Stensen's truck is shorter than this hillside. Me and my husband, when I got here earlier, we already measured it out and discussed it. This hillside, I would say, is about 21 feet tall. There's no way you're going to see his truck travel with Kyron Horman in it and go down off of Access Road. You're just not going to see him. Now, the FBI, they came up with their own profile. A man from age 35 to 45 and part of the community. David Stensen doesn't really fall into the age category. He's 75 years old now, so he would have been 63, 62 back then. But he is part of this community. So you just have to ask yourself if this is plausible. Is this something that could have happened? David Stensen had the opportunity. So he very well could have taken Kyron and left, and Kyron would have never been seen again. Now, David Stensen traveled. His Facebook was very active, showing pictures of him in 2009 going to Costa Rica. A lot of people want to talk about this being Mexico. It is South America, but it isn't Mexico. And he's also a musician. Now, let's talk about Mexico. This was another huge thing everybody kept talking about. I personally have never been able to prove it. But somewhere along the line, people started talking about the fact that David Stensen moved and left and went to Mexico. Maybe visited Mexico. His Facebook was really active, but after Kyron came up missing, from about then to 2014, 2015, there was nothing on his Facebook. Everybody thought that that was really suspicious.